What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about when we could see the Wonder Woman game from Monolith. Now, this is something that's gone on, on Twitter. It's maybe not new on Twitter, but maybe it's new on the YouTube side, so I thought I would cover it. This is not the most unknown thing in the first place anyway, right? We have the GeForce Now leak, right? We've actually talked about it several times on the channel, that enormous leak that came out that revealed a lot of games that were already known, a lot of games that are kind of code-named, a lot of games that, are future games, and they gave them release dates, they attached them to developers and publishers, and now some of them have turned out to be very, very accurate, and some of them have turned out to be not so much, but overall the leak is something, it's kind of like it's a suggestion to go by. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's a pretty good thing to kind of follow, especially when you're kind of fact-checking things like Wonder Woman. So the interesting thing about Wonder Woman is this game was codenamed Legacy in that GeForce leak, okay? And it was supposed to come out late 2022, and the studios match and all that stuff. So this is that game. Now, this actually goes back to what I said in the Wonder Woman video I did that night. The night that it got announced, I even said in that video, one of the things I think everybody should kind of know about it is those that are thinking the game's coming out in like 3 or 4 years, and you showed the cinematic, because it's not, that's not a bad thing to assume, right? And it's not like a wrong thing to assume, considering you have like a Star Wars Eclipse, right? That was shown actually more than Wonder Woman, but it was all CG, and that game is probably 3+ years out. So it's not bad to assume, you see Wonder Woman, it's very short, doesn't really show you anything, and you say, oh man, did they just start working on that a year ago? Well, no. I mean, the last Middle-earth game, Shadow of War, was September of 2017. Now, I don't know for sure that for the past 4+ years they've been working just on Wonder Woman. It doesn't seem like it's been that way, but even if it's been 3 or even 2.5, 2, whatever, I mean, it's sooner. Like, it's going to release sooner than I think a lot of people think it's the game didn't start, a few months ago, or didn't start a year ago. Quantic Dream, the rumor is that Star Wars game did start, 1.5 years ago. That's not all that long ago for the scale, right? Whereas Wonder Woman, if they've been working on it for 4 years, now here's the deal. Again, like in that GeForce leak, it's supposed to come out, late next year. But the thing is, all of the game, a lot of the games in the GeForce leak, like I said, they're suggestions, they're kind of like a roadmap to follow, but a roadmap that can get changed very easily. Because while I believe a lot of the games are real, in fact, almost probably like 99% of the games are factually, going to happen, or they already have happened, the release dates are the sketchy part. The release dates are things that are moved greatly. Lego Star Wars is on there, I believe, for like April or May. Gotham Knights obviously was on there. Hogwarts Legacy is on there. I don't think Hogwarts or Gotham Knights makes the release date that it's supposed to. I think Hogwarts is supposed to be like April 3rd. I don't think that happens, right? I think Gotham Knights is like February or March, right? I just don't think they're going to... I think they'll hit, maybe a couple months later than that, but it's just not going to be exactly when, I guess the GeForce leak said. So in my opinion, if it's supposed to be October, November for Wonder Woman, push that a couple months, now you're into early 2023. You also have, right, next year, in terms of WB games, also in terms of superhero games or DC games, you have a ton. I mean, again, Lego Star Wars is one that's not DC, Hogwarts, but you also have Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights. And, I've already talked about how I do not think those games come out close to each other at all. I think you give them several months space in between, or at least you try to. Add a third game in, and I don't know where you put it. I just don't. I mean, like Gotham Knights, first couple months of the year, Suicide Squad the summer, Wonder Woman the fall. It's easy to say that, but then doing it, that's obviously a step up. It's the same thing. Does Gotham Knights actually come out in February or March, or do we get an announcement that it comes out in June? And then, okay, well then all of a sudden, what I just said is already broken, right? Because you can't release it in June and then do Suicide Squad like July. Now, there will be people that say, of course you can, and I'm sure you probably could, but I just think that's not the plan that they have in place. So again, you do that, you throw in Wonder Woman. I just don't think it's going to work out. Now, with that being said, there is a lot to look forward to from DC games and also from WB games, again, as a whole. Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights, then you throw in Hogwarts, you throw in Lego Star Wars, you throw in NetherRealm's next game, you throw in WB Montreal's second game. I mean, you have a lot to look forward to the next, 2 to 4 years to get all of those games out, right? That's an incredible, next several years. So to me, I would say, and I've thought this literally since I saw it, 2023. Probably the first half, honestly, I would argue, or I'd hopefully imagine. And again, dream come true. I said it in that video a few days ago. I mean, this was that single-player game that when people ask, what superhero game do you want, I've always said my dream one. In fact, I think I even said it in like a Slickmoff collaboration. Like Wonder Woman is that game for me. So I'm super happy to see them doing it. I think it's a perfect studio to do it with the open world, Nemesis system, all that stuff. And I think we wait a year and a half and we get it, like release, which means I think we see it probably within the first 6 to 8 months of next year. Like I can imagine by E3 time or over the summer, I could easily imagine you start, think about what you do for Gotham Knights, think about what they did for Suicide Squad, you roll it out. So this was step one, but it was a very tiny, this was a tiny step one compared to Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights. The first time we saw those games, we got a lot more than what we got for Wonder Woman. But I think that was just more of like a time thing and showing it at the Game Awards and all that stuff. I think they could have shown, or they can show, a lot more, a lot sooner than people think. Okay, so let me know when you guys think the games are releasing. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. This will obviously be a game I cover a ton extensively, leading into it releasing and then when it does release. If you guys want to check out any of my other social media, I have Twitter, I have a second channel, I also have Patreon and YouTube memberships. Links for them all are in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.